Hey everybody, it's Janice with Creating Through Chaos, and I found this little tin vase at a thrift store for $1. So I am going to repurpose it, and I am going to start by painting it all white. I'm not worried about full coverage with this, just enough to get a good base coat on, as we'll be covering the white up afterwards. So just a quick base coat, especially where on the front, whatever side you choose to be the front. Once I have it all painted, I took one of my printables and I sized it down to the size that I wanted. So this is just the Snowman printable. And I'm going to cut that out. I want to make sure that there's no white showing. And I believe the size I used was 4x6. On your printer, there's settings and you can change the size. So it fits perfectly on the front of there. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have to do a little trimming. So what I'm doing now is just kind of rubbing it along the edges to kind of get where the lines are that I need to cut. So I'm just going to push it all down, making sure that I keep that design in the front. And then I'm just going to cut off all that excess. And this is probably not the most perfect way to do it, but it definitely works really good. So now I have it pretty much the size that I want it. And now I can figure out the top and the bottom. There's like a little lip at the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to trim that bottom piece off. I just ran my finger on there to give myself a little line. And now it fits perfectly, and it's time to Mod Podge that on. So I'm just going to take some Mod Podge and put it on and then apply the printable. I just printed this out on regular printer paper, just a regular inkjet. I don't have a fancy laser printer. This is just a Walmart HP printer. I think I paid $50 for it probably 2 or 3 years ago, and it prints just fine. And now I have him on there, and I'm just going to let that dry. Once that's dry, I'm going to come along on the edges and just kind of sand off the excess on the printable. I'm not worried about the paint chipping off. Like I said, we're going to go over this again, so I'm not stressed about the paint coming off. I'm going to make sure that I get all of that off, and then I am going to take some gray paint and some white paint that I kind of mixed together. I used the background from the Snowman printable to decide the color. So as I was mixing the gray and the white, I wanted it to match the front of the printable. So I took the lightest part of the printable, that gray color, and then went around and just daubed that all over using a stencil sponger or a pouncer. Everybody calls it something different. Now I'm just kind of going around where the snowman is, making sure that I covered the whole entire thing, kind of encasing the snowman almost in like an oval shape, so it kind of looks like he's framed out. And now I am going to repeat that same process using some faux snow. I'm going to go around just the front, right over the edges, and I want to make sure that I kind of frame out the snowman with this. So I'm just going to go all the way around. I'm just using some Aleene's glitter snow and a paintbrush and just kind of blotting it on there, going all the way around. I want to get all the edges. I also end up doing the whole top, and I kind of made it so it dripped down the sides on the edges at the top also. And this stuff can be kind of tricky to work with, but it works really good if you use a paintbrush. You can also use a palette knife. Those work great for this too, but I prefer a paintbrush. So I'm just going around and getting that whole area all framed in, and then I'm going to add some glitter right on top of that glitter snow. And as you can see, I did the whole top. And now I'm going to take some enchanted shimmer, and I'm just going to highlight some of the aspects of the snowman with this. I'm going to do the scarf and the hat, and then I end up putting a little on the trees and a little bit on each one of his buttons, and then I kind of outlined his body with the enchanted shimmer also. So just kind of going really slow around here. I don't want to do the whole thing, but I definitely want to highlight some of the pretty features. Make sure I get all those ends of the scarf, and then I'm going to do his hat. And this is just going to make it so it has a glittered look on those pieces, kind of like iridescent. And it's kind of hard to see on camera, but they're there when you're there in person. So you can kind of see it's a little shimmery on those spots. And as you can see, I did around all of the edges. Next, I'm going to take this pom-pom ribbon, and I'm going to tie this right around the top. And I thought it kind of looked like snowballs, so I kind of thought this was a good ribbon for this project. I'm just going to let that hang over the side and trim off the excess. And then I'm going to pop that little cylinder thing back in, so like a little vial. And then I'm just going to add some greenery to the top. So I just picked out some greenery that I cut off some picks that I had. And then these white berries, going to add those in there. Kind of arrange it how I want it to look, and that is it. This project is done. I absolutely love how this turned out. I think he is so super cute. I love this printable. You can find it in my shop, and I love the greenery. Everything just kind of flowed together with this project. I hope this inspires you to see things at a thrift store differently. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to spread the chaos.